There was so much interest in the Kent Eagle Ridge video and so many questions about the bike that I decided to do a quick follow-up and take a closer look and even answer a few questions. I want to kick off by addressing the upgrade choir. That's the chorus of people that say I should upgrade this bike. I thought the welds alone would have pretty much said it all as far as upgrades go, but the more time I've had to look over this bike, the more convinced I am that this definitely isn't the frame for dumping more money into or putting on better parts. As a general rule, or at least a new rule, when I can pull off bits of the welds, further investment is a no-go. That's not to mention the odd twist shifter and drop bar combo, and this is also a quill stem, and that alone is limiting when it comes to upgrades. Quite a few people questioned how they even got twist shifters on drop bars to begin with, and probably an equal number commented that these are two-piece bars. And some said that what I called spacers are actually clamps that hold the two pieces of the bars together. Well, they are spacers, but with the stem they also act as kind of a clamp. And as for the bars themselves, well, they are in fact split. Two complete pieces, held together with a single bolt and a nut. Well, that and quite a bit of friction. I never fathomed that I'd be riding a bike where the handlebars were split right down the middle. But, you know, life is full of surprises. And with the two bar sections apart, the twist shifters can be slid off each half. And after seeing how this all goes together and just how many pieces keep it together, I don't have any concerns with the integrity. I mean, there's a lot that would have to go wrong for this type of a setup to come apart. I also want to note that the stem and the spacers are alloy, but the bars themselves, both halves, are steel. Hands down, the most feedback about my initial review was with my handlebar position. People kept saying it looks goofy, or it looks awkward. Well, to me, goofy and awkward are kind of synonymous with drop bars. And there's no set rule for what position works from one person to another. And you add twist shifters to drop bars and it just gets non-traditional. I found the best position with this setup to be left hand on the horn and the right on the shifter. This lets me shift and also have quick access to an emergency brake if needed. But still, I want you guys to be able to sleep at night, so I made a change and lowered things. But don't sleep too soundly because I have a feeling these will creep right back up. I even received a few questions asking what size are the crank arms. Now I hope this is asked in reference to replacement and not upgrade, but whatever the case, the crank arms are 170mm. What's the frame size? Now that's an excellent question, and I measured it and found it to be 21 inches, or rounded down just a bit, 53 centimeters. Now on those perk brakes, I've bragged about Kev Central viewers before. You guys are really good, and some of you knew that those came from the Orkan review. You know, there was so much I didn't like about the Orkan that I can't remember the brakes, but so far these are working fine. But I did have that one person, I mean there's always the one, that contacted me via my website and went on an absolute rant about the tires. First and foremost, I think you may need therapy. Second, I never said the tires were great, I said they were better than I expected. And countless miles later, that still holds true. Let's talk about the Mega Range and a flat face derailleur. I said this may be a good candidate to use a Mega Range freewheel. And somebody commented and asked if it would even work with a flat face. And that's an excellent question. And I looked up the specs on the flat face, and it said on the small sprocket it could go down to a 14 tooth, and on the large sprocket up to a 28, so 14 to 28. But it also says the total capacity is a 34 tooth. So I'm confused. And this is important because so many bikes at Walmart use a flat face derailleur and could possibly benefit from a Mega Range freewheel. But currently, all my Mega Ranges are tied up. But I'm going to round one up and give a definitive answer. But I'll do so in its own video. I want to close out talking about quality control for a second, because I don't know if this came out of the box this way or if I did it while I was taking the bars apart, but look at this cable housing on the right shifter, it's coming to bits. So I'll need to tape this up, but looking at the other housings, I mean, this one just looks and feels thinner. And like the Batch bicycle I reviewed, the Eagle Ridge doesn't have a protective sticker over the chainstay. And even though I didn't think I was on terrain rough enough to cause any chain slap, there apparently was, and it started some chipping on the finish. And I bragged about that finish in the previous video, but I neglected to mention that there was some touch-up paint on the head tube. On an assembly line, from a quality control standpoint, I get that chips happen. But to use a different shade of paint to touch up said chips, that's a curious choice. So that's a few things I wanted to follow up on about the Eagle Ridge. I don't normally do back-to-back videos on the same bike, but this Eagle Ridge, for some reason, it stirred a lot of interest, or at least some opinions. So I hope this helps you out. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like this video, and have a great day.